Do you ever feel like an invisible force is sabotaging your growth? You set the goals, you try to build the habits, but you keep ending up in the same place. The legendary psychologist Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." That fate, that self, sabotage is your shadow self. The most powerful daily habit isn't changing what you do, but confronting what you hide. It's time to meet your shadow and finally take control of your destiny. Every morning, upon the quiet dawn of consciousness, you are presented with a choice that will define the very essence of your existence. This choice is not offered with fanfare or ceremony. It arrives in the silence between your first waking thoughts, a subtle yet profound crossroads. One path, worn smooth by the passage of countless yesterdays, beckons you with the siren song of comfort. It is the path of automaticity, of least resistance, paved with familiar habits and predictable routines. It demands nothing of you but your acquiescence, your passive participation. It is the path of drifting. While it may feel safe, this path is a gentle, inexorable slope into the valley of stagnation, a place where the vibrant colors of potential fade to a muted gray of what might have been. It is the quiet tragedy of a life lived by default. The other path is different. It is an ascent. It may be shrouded in the morning mist of uncertainty, and demands that you be fully awake, fully present, and fully intentional. This is the path of conscious, deliberate growth. It is here that you declare, not just with words but with action, that today you will consciously and methodically become more than you were yesterday. When I implore you to force yourself to grow, I am not advocating for a life of painful self-flagellation. I am speaking of the need to generate an internal force greater than the external and internal forces of inertia, entropy, and comfort that conspire to keep you static. It is the force of will applied against the immense gravitational pull of mediocrity. Life, in its infinite and often brutal wisdom, guarantees growth. The question is never if you will grow, but how. If you abdicate the responsibility, life will impose growth upon you through the harsh curriculum of crisis, loss, heartbreak, and failure. This is growth born of necessity, of survival. But when you seize the reins, when you become the proactive architect of your own evolution, you choose a different curriculum. You choose to grow through discovery, through learning, through mastery, and through gain. You choose to be sculpted by design rather than shattered by circumstance. This is the fundamental choice. Will you be an accident of your history or the architect of your destiny? Part Roman 2. The unseen engine, the universal law of compounding. To grasp the mechanics of transformation, you must first understand the most powerful, silent force in the universe, compounding. Albert Einstein, in his profound simplicity, called it the eighth wonder of the world, stating, "He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." This law governs your finances, your relationships, your health, and your knowledge. It is the unseen engine of your life. We celebrate the inspiring side of this equation, the magic of improving by a mere 1% each day. On its own, a 1% improvement is imperceptible. It is a single, seemingly insignificant decision. Reading 10 pages instead of scrolling, choosing water over soda, taking the stairs, holding your tongue in a moment of anger. It feels like nothing, but the mathematics of compounding are relentless. That 1% improvement, repeated daily, means you become 37 times better in a single year. In 2 years, you are nearly 1/400 times better. The results are so staggering they defy intuition. However, this universal law is brutally impartial. It has a dark side that we ignore at our peril. What happens if you get 1% worse each day? What is the compound effect of hitting the snooze button, of eating processed food, of nursing a small grievance, of skipping a workout, of choosing distraction over focus. The daily decay is just as invisible as the daily growth. But after a year, that consistent 1% decline doesn't leave you 365% worse off. It erodes you down to almost zero. Compounding is a force multiplier. It will either propel you to unimaginable heights or grind you into dust. There is no neutral territory. Your life is either on an upward or a downward spiral, dictated by your smallest, most consistent choices. This explains the profound frustration of the plateau of latent potential. In the beginning of any new endeavor, you pour in effort, time, and energy, yet the results are flat. Weeks, maybe months, go by with no visible progress. You're putting in the work, but the scale doesn't move, the promotion doesn't come, the skill doesn't feel natural. This is the valley of disappointment where the vast majority of resolutions die. People quit because they mistake this lack of visible feedback for a lack of progress. Think of it like melting an iceberg. You can apply heat for an hour, and the iceberg's temperature might rise from -10 degrees Celsius to -1, but it's still a block of ice. It looks identical, all your effort seems wasted. But the moment the temperature hits 0 degrees, the entire structure begins to transform. The work you were doing all along wasn't wasted. It was storing energy. Your daily positive habits are storing energy. They are building the deep, invisible root system of the oak tree. They are raising the internal temperature of the iceberg. You must have faith in the process during this period of invisible progress. The breakthrough will come not as a matter of luck, but as the delayed, cumulative result of all the work that came before. Do not quit on the plateau. It is the launching pad for your ascent. Part Roman 3. The enemies of growth know your adversary. To win any battle, you must first understand your enemy. The enemies of growth are not external monsters. They are internal, insidious patterns of thought and behavior. They are the guardians of your comfort zone. 1. The comfort trap, the golden cage. Your brain's primary directive is not your happiness or your fulfillment. It is your survival. It equates the familiar with the safe. Your comfort zone is a finely calibrated environment where outcomes are predictable and threats are minimized. It feels good. It feels safe, but it is a golden cage. The longer you stay, the more the bars solidify. Growth, by its very nature, is uncomfortable. It requires novelty, uncertainty, and the risk of failure. All things your primal brain registers as threats. To escape the trap, you must learn to reframe discomfort. See it not as a threat, but as a signal of growth. Lean into it. Make do one thing every day that scares you your mantra. Discomfort is the price of admission for an extraordinary life. 2. The fear matrix. Fear is the chief enforcer of the comfort zone, but fear is too general a term. We must dissect it. Fear of failure. This is the most common. We fear the judgment, the embarrassment, the "I told you so." The antidote is to redefine your relationship with failure. See it not as an indictment of your worth, but as essential data. Failure is the tuition you pay for wisdom. Actively seek it out on a small scale. Try things you know you might fail at, simply to build your failure immunity. Fear of success. This is more subtle and surprising. We fear the visibility, the expectations, and the responsibility that come with success. We worry, what if I can't sustain it? What if people see me as a fraud? This is imposter syndrome. The antidote is to focus on the process, not the outcome. Detach your identity from your achievements. You are not your success. You are the person who shows up every day and does the work. Fear of judgment. We are social creatures, wired for belonging. The fear of being ostracized is a powerful motivator. We temper our ambitions and hide our quirks to fit in. The antidote is to realize that most people are too preoccupied with their own lives to pay much attention to yours. And for those who do judge, their judgment is a reflection of their own limitations, not yours. You must choose the pursuit of your own potential over the approval of others. 3. The comparison curse. In the age of social media, we are constantly exposed to the curated highlight reels of everyone else's lives. We compare our behind-the-scenes struggles to their public victories. This is a recipe for perpetual inadequacy and envy. It's like trying to run a race while constantly looking over your shoulder at another runner's progress. You're guaranteed to trip. The cure is a radical shift in focus. The only comparison that matters is you today versus you yesterday. Use others' success not as a stick to beat yourself with, but as a source of inspiration for what's possible. Unfollow accounts that trigger feelings of inadequacy. Curate your information feed to be educational and inspiring, not aspirational and soul-crushing. 4. The procrastination paradox. We procrastinate most on the very things we know are most important for our long-term growth. Why? Because these tasks often involve ambiguity, challenge, and the potential for discomfort. Our brain prefers the immediate, easy gratification of a simple, low-value task. The solution is to make it ridiculously easy to start. Use the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. For larger tasks, shrink the starting ritual to under 2 minutes. Read a book becomes read 1 page. Go for a run becomes put on my running shoes. Momentum is the antidote to procrastination. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Part Roman 4. The 7 pillars of a transcendent life, a blueprint for holistic growth cannot be compartmentalized. A life of true excellence requires a holistic approach, like building a magnificent structure supported by 7 foundational pillars. Neglect one, and the entire edifice becomes unstable. Pillar 1. The resilient, expansive mind. Your mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. It is the operating system for your entire life. Daily growth here is paramount. Curate your information diet. You are what you consume. Be as intentional with your information diet as a professional athlete is with their nutritional diet. Unsubscribe from sensationalist news. Replace mindless scrolling with curated reading from sources like Farnham Street, Wait But Why, or long-form essays. Listen to podcasts that challenge your thinking. Your thoughts are built from the raw materials you feed your mind. Use only the highest-grade materials. Embrace intellectual humility. A strong mind is not one that is always right, but one that is eager to find out what is right. Actively seek out your own ignorance. Practice saying 3 of the most powerful words in the English language. I don't know. This opens the door to genuine learning. Argue against your own beliefs to see if they can withstand scrutiny. This is the practice of strong opinions, weakly held. Master mental models. Mental models are frameworks for thinking that help you understand the world. Collect them like tools. Learn about concepts like first principles thinking, breaking a problem down to its most fundamental truths. Inversion, thinking backward from the problem, and second order thinking, considering the consequences of the consequences. A rich toolbox of mental models allows you to see problems from multiple dimensions, leading to more robust solutions. Implement active learning techniques. Passive reading leads to forgetting. Engage in active learning. Use the Feynman technique. After learning a concept, try to explain it in simple terms as if to a child. This will immediately expose the gaps in your understanding. Use spaced repetition systems, SRS, like Anki to combat the forgetting curve and lock information into your long-term memory. Pillar 2. The deep, adaptable skill set in a rapidly changing world. Your security is not your job title. It is your portfolio of skills. You must become a perpetual student. The meta skill of learning. The most important skill is learning how to learn. Understand the stages of skill acquisition. The initial awkwardness, the frustrating plateau, and the eventual automaticity. Learn to love the process of being a beginner, the humility, the rapid initial gains, the joy of discovery. Hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills, coding, writing, financial modeling, are the what you can do. Soft skills, communication, empathy, leadership, persuasion, are the how you do it. The world is full of technically brilliant people who fail due to a lack of soft skills. Dedicate time to both. Practice active listening. Learn how to give and receive constructive feedback. Study the art of storytelling. Your hard skills might open the door, but your soft skills will determine how high you climb in the room. The T-shaped professional. Aim to be T-shaped. Develop a broad, generalist knowledge base across many disciplines, the horizontal bar of the T. This allows you to connect disparate ideas and see the bigger picture. Then, choose one or two areas to develop deep, specialist expertise, the vertical stem of the T. This combination of breadth and depth is what creates true innovation and value. Pillar 3. The unshakable, integrated character is the bedrock upon which all lasting success is built. It is who you are in the dark when no one is watching. It is the sum total of your daily choices. Close the integrity gap. Your integrity is the alignment between your stated values and your daily actions. We all have an integrity gap. The work is to notice it and consciously shrink it day by day. If you value honesty, do you admit when you've made a mistake, or do you subtly shift blame? If you value discipline, do you honor the promises you make to yourself? Your self-esteem is a direct consequence of your ability to keep promises to yourself. Practice micro virtues. Character is not forged in a single heroic moment. It is cultivated in 1,000 tiny, mundane choices. Practice micro virtues. Be 5 minutes early. Finish what you start, even if it's just a small task. Return your shopping cart. Hold the door. Tell the truth in small matters. These seemingly insignificant acts are the daily reps that build the muscle of character. Develop an internal locus of control. This is the core belief that you are the primary agent in your life, not a passive victim of external circumstances. When faced with a setback, a person with an external locus of control blames the world. A person with an internal locus of control asks, "What can I learn from this, and what is my next move?" Take radical responsibility for everything in your world. This is not about blame, it is about empowerment. Pillar 4. The thriving, supportive relationships. The quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. They are not a distraction from your work. They are the point of it. The art of emotional bids. According to researcher John Gottman, the foundation of a strong relationship is the emotional bid, a small attempt to connect. It can be a question, a touch, a shared laugh. How you respond to these bids determines the health of the connection. Learn to recognize and turn towards the bids of others with your full attention. This is the currency of emotional connection. Curate your inner circle. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This is not a cliché, it's a law of social gravity. Odd It's your relationships. Who lifts you up, challenges you, and inspires you? Who drains your energy and reinforces your limitations? Intentionally cultivate relationships with mentors, people ahead of you, peers, people alongside you, and mentees, people you can lift up. Master constructive conflict. Disagreement is inevitable in any meaningful relationship. The goal is not to avoid conflict, but to get better at it. Learn to separate the person from the problem. Use I statements instead of you statements. Seek to understand before seeking to be understood. Learn the art of a genuine apology, which is not "I'm sorry you feel that way," but "I'm sorry for what I did." Pillar 5. The empowering, intelligent finances. Financial literacy is not about becoming rich. It is about becoming free. It is about having options and removing a major source of life stress. Mindset first. Abundance over scarcity. A scarcity mindset sees money as a limited resource to be hoarded and feared. An abundance mindset sees money as a tool, a form of energy that can be generated, circulated, and used to create value. Cultivate abundance by practicing gratitude for what you have and focusing on creating value for others. The practical trinity: budget, save, invest. Budgeting. This is not about restriction, it's about awareness. It is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Use a simple system like the 50/30/20 rule: 50% for needs, 30% for wants, 20% for savings/investment. Saving. Pay yourself first. Automate a percentage of your income to go directly into a savings account before you can even touch it. This is the single most effective way to build a financial safety net. Investing. You cannot save your way to wealth. You must invest. Learn the basics of compound interest and low-cost index funds. Understand that investing is a long-term game. The goal is not to get rich quick, but to build wealth slowly and surely. Pillar 6. The vibrant, energetic health. Your body is the only vehicle you will ever have to navigate your life. Its performance dictates the performance of everything else. The 4 legs of the health table: movement. Find a form of exercise you genuinely enjoy. The best workout is the one you do consistently. A mix of strength training to build muscle, the engine of your metabolism, cardiovascular exercise for heart health, and mobility work for longevity is ideal. Nutrition. Don't get lost in dogmatic diet wars. Follow simple principles. Eat whole, unprocessed foods. Prioritize lean protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates. Drink plenty of water. Drastically reduce sugar and processed junk. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be consistently good. Sleep. This is the most underrated pillar of health. Sleep is not a luxury. It is a non-negotiable biological necessity for memory consolidation, hormonal regulation, and cellular repair. Create a non-negotiable sleep routine. Make your bedroom a cold, dark, quiet sanctuary. Avoid screens for at least an hour before bed. Stress management. Chronic stress is a silent killer. You must have active practices to manage it. This could be meditation, breathwork like the physiological sigh, journaling, spending time in nature, or a creative hobby. Pillar 7. The grounded, purposeful spirit. This is the anchor, your why. It is your connection to something larger than yourself that provides meaning, context, and direction. Define your purpose. Your purpose is not something you find. It is something you build. It can be found in service to others, in the mastery of a craft, in the creation of a family, or in the stewardship of the planet. Ask yourself, what makes me come alive? What problem do I want to solve? If I had all the money I needed, what would I do with my time? The answers point towards your purpose. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful spiritual practice. It is an active rewiring of your brain to scan the world for the positive instead of the negative. Start or end your day by writing down 3 specific things you are grateful for. This simple act can radically shift your entire state of being. Connect with stillness. In a world of constant noise and stimulation, stillness is a superpower. Find time for silence every day. This could be a formal meditation practice or simply sitting in silence with a cup of tea, with no phone, no music, no distractions. In the silence, you can finally hear your own inner voice. Part V. Building your personal growth system from intention to reality. Intentions are worthless without a system. A system is what translates your fuzzy desires into concrete, daily actions. It is the bridge between the person you are and the person you want to become. Architect your environment. Willpower is a finite resource. Do not rely on it. Instead, design your environment to make your desired habits the path of least resistance. Want to read more? Leave a book on your pillow. Want to eat healthier? Chop vegetables and leave them at the front of the fridge. Want to scroll less? Move social media apps to the last page of your phone or delete them entirely. Your environment is the invisible hand that shapes your behavior. The power of rituals. Your most important moments are the bookends of your day. Design a morning ritual that primes you for success, e.g., hydration, movement, meditation, journaling, and an evening ritual that helps you wind down and prepare for restorative sleep, e.g., tidying up, reading fiction, planning the next day, no screens. These rituals automate your best behaviors. The weekly review. Set aside 30-60 minutes every Sunday to conduct a weekly review. Reflect on the past week. What were my wins? What were my challenges? What did I learn? Then, plan the upcoming week. What are my top 3 priorities? What steps will I take to move them forward? This is your personal board meeting with yourself. It is the ultimate tool for course correction and conscious living. Part VI. The metamorphosis, becoming the butterfly. The journey of growth is not a linear path. It is a metamorphosis. Like the caterpillar, you must be willing to dissolve your old self to become something new. There will be a period in the chrysalis where you are no longer the caterpillar, but not yet the butterfly. It is a state of gooey, undefined chaos. This is the most difficult phase. It feels uncomfortable, uncertain, and confusing. You will be tempted to retreat to the familiar comfort of being a caterpillar. You must resist this temptation. You must trust in the process. You must have faith that this period of dissolution is a necessary prelude to your transformation. If you push through, if you force yourself to keep growing even when it feels like everything is falling apart, you will emerge. You will emerge not just as a better version of your old self, but as something entirely new. You will emerge as the butterfly you were always meant to be. The world does not need more caterpillars, content to crawl through life. It desperately needs more butterflies, more people who have had the courage to undergo their own metamorphosis, to unlock their full potential, and to fly. Your journey begins not when you have more time, more money, or more motivation. It begins now with a single, conscious choice. What is the one small action you will take today to honor the future self you wish to become? The answer to that question, repeated daily, will define the trajectory of the rest of your life. Choose wisely, choose growth, begin